Okay, so these are my top 9 tips for helping your edge rank. So if you're not familiar with that term, edge rank has to do with how often Facebook is going to show your posts to people. Okay? So you may be thinking, well, gee, I thought they were showing all my stuff to everyone 100% of the time, but they're not. So they're showing your content to people based on how much they interact with you, okay? So if you're doing great posting, Facebook sees that, your people see that, they're reacting, and because they're reacting, Facebook is starting to show your stuff to more people. And the opposite is true. If you're not putting up great posts, all of a sudden it's showing it to fewer and fewer people. So it has this, like, you're either climbing up or going down sort of thing. And if you look at the metrics on your page, you can pretty easily figure out which direction you're headed in. You know, like, if you have 200 followers and it's showing it to 6, that's a problem, okay? If you have 200 followers and it's showing it to 60, that's very good. That's extremely high, actually. So you're always trying to get that number a little higher to make sure that people are seeing your stuff. And there's some ways that you can do this, and I'm going to show you what I've been using lately. I actually just built this PowerPoint 2 days ago. So I built it based on what I was actually doing in the last 2 weeks, and also based on articles I've read and stuff I've seen. So this takes into account exactly what's in the market right now. So my first one...
I thought you were going to use that.
I was. So Craig put this up the other day. Need some help, all caps. Please make some recommendations for TV series or Amazon Prime or Netflix. Okay. So can anybody guess how many people commented on his? Like, just gave their opinion? It was a lot. 60. Yeah, it was 55. So he had 55 people come in and say, this is what I'm watching, and people love to recommend stuff because they want to, you know, like, I'm watching this great show, or I'm going to this great restaurant, I want you to go too. So if you ask for their opinions, they will give it. And I've even seen, I had a realtor do one yesterday where she asked, use one word to describe me, I need it for some market research. Now, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. She had like dozens and dozens of people saying nice things about her on Facebook, right? So they're all saying like kind, helpful, ambitious, and I'm like, could this be any better for you? You know, like everyone's saying all these really great things about you, and she would go in and comment, you know, and so they say something to her, she says something back, right? Kind, you know, like, or maybe thanks or whatever, and then in the middle of that she went in and did another post and said, gosh, I'm so overwhelmed with all the nice things you're saying about me, thanks so much, and then they just kept pouring in. So if you can think of a question that people would be interested in, I put a few up there. The first one is Craig's. The second one was, what's your biggest concern when buying a home? I used that one time. I was actually doing some research. And I had a lot of people tell me stuff. And actually what their number one concern was, if you looked at the buckets you could put them in, it all had to do with money. It really did. Like 80% of the responses had to do with they were afraid of unexpected costs, they were afraid of repairs after they moved in, they were afraid of not getting, you know, a good price on the house. Almost all of them had to do with cost. A few of them said school or whatever, but you could almost put every single one in that bucket. And looking for a recommendation for a restaurant in Charlotte, people love that too. So they love to say, you should go here, it's my favorite place, you know, get the scampi or whatever. So what's going to happen is, I saw Ryan do this yesterday. I think he saw my post to do this. So he asked a question, what year did you buy your house? Which I thought was, you know, just an okay question. No. Dozens of people, you know, what year they bought their house. And then George went in and told this big story about when he had first gotten in his house. There was this Hooters hot air balloon that had crashed in his backyard. And he was giving the story as a homeowner's, you know, you need great homeowner's insurance. You know, you just never know when the Hooters balloon's going to die.
I have photographic evidence.
I thought.
Yes, and he had it quickly. I'm like, where did those photographs come from? Like, this predates the cell phone.
Were there
like,
Hooters girls in the... They were headed to the house, they just crashed.
Actually, he used to live in Fort Lauderdale, and their flight pattern for general flight pattern for hot air balloons always went over his house. So they were used to seeing balloons basically fly over his house all the time. And his mom had done an April Fool's joke one time and said, "There's a balloon that crashed in the backyard." So he rushed out there, and there was nothing there. So when one actually did crash, he was like, "What? Come on." And she's like, "Oh, it's a Hooters balloon." Really? Get out there. So you never know what's going to come up. You get somebody in there with some storytelling ability, you might get something really good going on. So Ryan asked that question like 2 days ago. So that means his edge rank is going up because people are responding. So Facebook thinks he's doing something really good. Well, the next post becomes super important because now you have everyone's attention. His next post dealt directly with homeowners insurance, which is what he sells. Okay? And then when he did that, I think it was this morning, I saw that one. I commented on it and then I shared it into a huge group, the 100 Years Old No Rules group with like 48,000 members because it looked like a good post. It looked like something they'd be interested in. And already this morning somebody was saying, "I want to talk to him. I was actually just looking into this." So if you're thinking about all that, if you have really high edge rank after a really great post, that next post, hit it hard. Don't have it be like, I just had a flat tire, bad day. Like, no, just feeling like go down. Think about, how many people are seeing it and how you can interact with them. So yeah, I stole Craig on that one.
Is timing important with the next post?
Timing is always important. So you can go into your page metrics and you can see when your people are online. I notice I post for 7 real estate agents, I think. And I know that their people come online heavily at about 9. They start coming online about 6:30.
But I mean, how soon you do your next post after you do your question?
Oh, you should never do more than 2 in one day. So if you do that one in the morning, you want it to run its course. Like when you feel like it's starting to people are starting to stop responding, then you put the other one up. So it could be that night or it could be the next day.
Okay.
So you kind of have to watch your metrics. If people are still banging it out, because sometimes it'll be a few days. I mean, it could be 2 or 3 days that people are still responding to it. If they're still interacting, just wait. And then when it seems like it's starting to fall off. Yeah.
Do you actually see your edge rank somewhere? You don't actually see that.
The only thing that you can see is you can see if you do it on your Facebook page, you can see how many people it showed it to. So I can go in and look and see what posts perform high, and then I know if my edge rank's up a little bit. I also know my edge rank is up on my personal profile if I get a lot of comments and likes. Comments especially, okay? Comments are a lot better, and then shares are even a little bit better than that. So there's no way to know. That would be great if there were. Actually, that's a Netflix series. Have any of you ever watched Black Mirror? Leland
Wasn't on my list.
They sort of take a dystopian view of that, like how we look at stuff, and they have this one episode where people are walking around and their numbers up above their head. Like, she's 5 stars, she's 4.7, she's only a 2, I don't want to interact with her. It's very creepy. So, my second one is the same one that I give every single time. Your videos are always going to perform better than a photo. Photos always perform better than straight up text, okay? So, post a video, go live. Live is even better, okay? Live thing can be a little frightening because it can be like howling into the abyss. Right? So you go on there and there's actually no one watching, right? So you're just, hey, you're walking through the house. Well, 3 or 4 people will kind of eventually filter through, right? And so you talk to them a little bit. Hey, Jeff, it's great to see you. Jeff was on one time when I was live with 3 people. Okay. But Facebook likes that better. So if it's 3 or 5 people who actually see me in live, I'm okay with that. People will go back and watch the video after I post it. It's still a little bit better than a canned video. So, and also, sort of like my insider's tip, I find I'm better generally when I go live for some reason. When I tape, I think I'm so highly critical that if I don't get it right the first time, it's 12 takes later that I actually get it right. So first take is like my best chance at doing it
If you
well.
go past 3, you're done.
Yeah, I'm
You just start screwing up so bad.
You can be critical. Yeah, you can be critical and you're learning on that.
Yes. So generally I'm like first take, best take, pretty much done. Yes.
One question about the videos. So I know you can post like a video directly to Facebook, like that's where you like one you pre-record, not like going live. Is it better to like post one that's directly to Facebook, or like something that might have been shared to like YouTube first and then you're sharing it to Facebook? Does that one outrank the other?
The one they do. So the one that goes directly to the platform does better.
Okay.
For a number of reasons. One, if they have to navigate off the platform to see the video, that's problematic for Facebook because they want them to stay on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's YouTube or it's your landing page or whatever, they like it better. Not that they're not going to show it to people. It's still a video. But they see a video, they can tell it's a video, and if you go right to the platform, you should be able to do captions. So I met with Amanda one morning and showed her how to do it. She's like, oh my gosh, I can be doing this. Because most people watch their videos on silent anyway. 85% of people on Facebook watch it on silent. YouTube's different. YouTube people go to that platform with sound up. They're expecting to camp there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to read captions. But Facebook, you're in a doctor's office, kind of watching the video. So this was one. It's not necessary to play it. Actually, it's queued up to play, but it's fine. So we were doing a seminar, and I just walked around the room and showed him the room and showed him who was with us and invited them to come that morning. Ideally, and as it gets going, because again, when you're live, all of a sudden you're doing it better than you've ever done it in your life. Once I saw it go on, I pushed my head up. It should have been a little bit higher. Like you want your eyes at about the top third of the frame. So when the video gets going, my head ends up in the right place instinctively. And the other thing is, it just looks better if my eyes are right here. But the other thing is, it also blocks out the stuff in the background. So actually, if I'm talking, I usually want you watching me. When I'm not ready for when I'm ready to show you something, I'm going to show you something. But I don't want you all, like, what's behind her? Is that
Well, can you play the video?
figure. You're like, is it as great as we think it is? No, it's probably not. We can play a little bit of it. Oh, you can't hear it.
Here, the remote's right next to you. Side of it.
Oh. We have equipment set up. We're going to go ahead and tape it and put it up on the Agent Experts site a little bit later. We also have, let's see if I can get this in the frame, the very latest in equipment available. Here we have your Apple, the very first model. Actually, that's the one that I used in, 1988. It was a few years ago, and I was very happy to have it when I had it. So, and I have with me David Woodruff, who will be doing the seminar. He is a professional videographer, and we're going to learn a lot. Isn't that really enough? Yeah. But anyway, it was easier for me because it was live. If I had taped it, we would have been on 12 takes. It always happens that way. And I naturally think I talk slower when I do that for some reason. I think because I'm trying so hard to like have my brain work well. When I'm just taping, all of a sudden I stutter and my lips and the tongue, it's not great. So anytime you can do that, I always recommend to realtors maybe do a walkthrough on a house. Okay, if you don't want to be on camera, you can turn the camera around and just talk your way through the house. Just take off your shoes. I've seen some where I can hear people clunking through the house, like every step they take. So when you go over the threshold, just kick your shoe off and keep walking through the house. And people love those. They don't feel like advertising. They feel like you're looking over somebody's shoulder, like into somebody's house. So I like those better. I was just going to show you this. This was a video I did where I just taped my screen. And this performed really well for me too. This was how to put how to know when your audience was online. So where to go to look for the metrics. And all I did was just talk and just move around the screen and show people what I was doing. So those are not as good, but this one performed really well because people were curious. They want to know. And you can also go in and you hit insights, and I think it's people. There'll be a people button over here. You can see if it's male or female. I curate a site for Charlotte to Lake Norman, and I skew really high for females. So 83% of the people who follow my page are females. So that affects what I post. Like, I know what they want to look at and where they want to eat and that kind of a thing. So that's just another way to do it. You could turn the screen around. Number 3, get active, which is the opposite of passive. So a lot of people get really excited when they get a like or comment and then they don't comment back. If somebody takes a step towards you, you take a step back. I mean, you take a step toward them, right? So if they comment, you comment back, until the conversation naturally runs out. So whatever it is, you get on there right away, you say something back, you don't just leave it, okay? A like you can leave, you're not going to say, oh, thanks for liking my post. But if they comment, you should always comment back. Yeah, Leland.
I had a question about videos.
Yeah.
At what point would you suggest going landscape versus vertical? Because the landscape videos look awful on mobile.
Yes.
There's all that black space, and then vertical videos look awful on desktop. So like, what's your take on that?
So my take on that is, if I'm doing videos of myself, I almost always do vertical, okay? And I watch a lot of Gary Vee videos. Do you know who that is? Gary Vaynerchuk. He's really good. He's good. And I noticed his videos are almost always landscape, but his are being videoed. Like, he's in a studio and somebody's got a video camera. It's not on a phone, okay? So I feel like on a phone, and I see them all the time, they'll do the thing and then they kind of blur the side, and I actually really like that. So I think if you're in your car, what do you do in your car? Do you do landscape or vertical?
Landscape. Here's what I do. And everybody's different.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do like a snippet about something, it's just a snippet. Like if you're doing a walkthrough or, hey, I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. A lot of people will go vertical because it's just a snippet, and chances are it's going to be posted, and people are going to scroll. And when they scroll, vertical is kind of full screen. But if it's more content, like a video,
like what
or
Gary does.
informational about something, like if we're obviously creating an edit or something about a neighborhood or an event, we go horizontal. I don't know if that helps you, but
no, I agree with that. It depends on the purpose of it.
yeah.
And I've done them too, where I have tried to do a walk where I'm in the screen and I want them to look behind me. It is hard to do. To get your face in the right place and everything. It's just easier to be like this. So I would follow that. When you get active, like, comment, and share other people's posts. So you want to be generous. You go in. I always think about that just in general, like just to be really generous with people. So I went into the Huntersville No Rules group the other day. We were looking for a caterer, genuinely looking for one. And I asked them for advice, and I got huge responses, and I found someone, and I used them, and they were great. Okay, we were just really impressed with them. So after the event was over, I had pictures of the food. I went back into the group, posted 3 pictures of the food we had, and thanked the group. Thank you for this recommendation. It was unbelievably good. I'm so happy. So I try to think about like full circle, like always being grateful, always interacting back with people if they've helped me in some way, always coming back to say thank you, being that person that comes back. So if you have an experience like that where somebody's genuinely helped you, I occasionally post for Goosehead Insurance. I'll share their stuff because they genuinely helped us. So they did our insurance. It was great. We saved money. So, I vetted them. I don't recommend somebody unless I vetted them. It's not enough for somebody else to. I have to actually have used them. because I'm always afraid something will go sideways, and then they'll be like, well, how did they work for you? Well, they never did. Try to use at least 4 words. Those are going to track higher because Facebook's going to notice one word or things like they're meaningless words like great, thanks, super. Those aren't great words, but thanks for sharing that picture of your daughter. I didn't know she was a ballerina or whatever. That's going to do a whole lot better and actually give that person something to react back to. Nobody can react back to great, nice, super. So up to 4 words, and then you may want to think about using emojis. So not ridiculous emojis. But the reason is people engage a little higher, up to 33% higher with the emoji, and that's what you're trying to do. So sometimes I'll do like a house and money or something, something that's whatever, or the other day I did one with a target, just something intuitive that goes in there. It doesn't have to be 9 emojis, just use 2 or 3.
I've only seen you use the wine glass.
Yes, I'm a huge fan of the wine glass, yeah. Or the cocktail glass because it works. Yes, 100%. So, and I say that a lot too. I say that just naturally, 100%, and so you'll see that one probably pop up too because that's just part of the way that I talk. These are 2 of our most high-performing posts, and the advice is to recycle or boost them. So go into your page metrics, right? Because you're always thinking about your edge rank. You're always trying to get in front of the most people as possible. If you see you have a really high-performing post, wait a few months, send the video out again. Keep sending it out. As long as it's performing well for you, keep sending it out. It's work to get those videos right. You should get as much exposure out of them as you can. Keep pushing them forward. And this one was on how to caption videos, and that one performed really well. And I'll push that one out again. I pushed this one out, and there's another one that is a map of where people are moving from that people routinely ask me for. It's just a photo, and I keep pushing that back out again because I know that's what they want, and I know that's going to perform well for me. So push out great content the second time, and maybe boost them a little bit. You see they're performing well, go ahead and spend the extra money, dial in the demographic a little bit. Don't just hit the button. Dial in the demographic a little bit. Next one. Okay, so this is my big one too right now. Up with the asking of questions, post on your personal profile and tag your business. So if you go, you're so used to posting on your business page all the time because you don't want to spam your friends, you don't want them to get, whatever. But the way Facebook is changing, it's skewing a little bit toward your personal page now, okay? It wants to show more about what you're doing to your friends, less business pages, advertising, news, okay? So the way to beat that is to occasionally do an original post right on your personal page. And it would have to be a big deal, okay? It would have to be like a big win, a big party, a big something people are going to react really well to, and then just tag your page. So you're only just tagging your page, but you're originating it on your personal profile, okay? So you're going to start there, and you're going to do that a couple times a month, and you're going to reach a lot more people, probably, than your pages, unless you have 1,500 followers on your business page. So we did a kickoff party at On Cue, and I just did the little photo thing, and I tagged the Hastings Richardson team at On Cue Financial, and thanked everyone, and put that on my page. So I want to remind all my friends, my husband does mortgages, just in case you forgot, if I haven't said it in the last month. Did you have something, Craig?
No, maybe tell everybody how to tag. I mean, if you just start typing the name of the business or someone's name, a lot of times it'll show up and it'll give you options. But if it doesn't, you could also try putting the @ sign and then typing them in.
Yeah.
Because some of them are like we have Lisa Smith on our team. There's a million Lisa Smiths. So if you try and tag her, a lot of times it pulls up all these other people. But if I put the @ for some reason, it must know because I always pick that particular one. It kind of pulls me towards her for some reason.
Is that a newer thing? Because I just started having to do that symbol, trying to tag like businesses or something like in
I
the
don't
past.
think it's necessarily new, but like you said, you could just start typing their name and generally it'll populate, but sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I just always do the @ symbol now. I just type @ and start to type what I know their name to be, and it grabs it.
It might just be that there's just so many businesses and so many things that are common or close in spelling that I don't know, maybe it's just.
I don't know. I mean, the other thing to think about too is now I'm obviously affiliated with the Hastings Richardson team, but I've reached all my people now, all of Elizabeth Richardson's 600 friends or whatever friends, and then all of their people. As many as Facebook shows it to, right? So it's not going to show it to 600 of my people and 200 of theirs, but I'm always trying to get in front of more people. And so the more people I can tag, the more people I can get in front. Joey's really good about this. So he'll tag the Hastings Richardson team, he'll tag Scott, he'll tag George, tag everyone, which is great because we're like, it's going to hit their personal profiles, it's going to hit their business profiles, it hits his, and it hits Joey's, and it hits Joey's business page. So it's like, you know, he just rounded up like 2,000 people in a post. He's like,
Love that.
Yeah, you're like dipping into audience.
he's like, dip, 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 dip. And,
You taught me that.
well, it's good. He's a good student. But the other good thing is, Joey is grateful. So when you tag those people, it says, thank you, right? Thank you to George and Scott. It says thank you. People will react really well to grateful people. They always do. So if they see that in your personality, that's going to draw them to you. So that's when I did. The first one you hit is always going to be that one. So you strategically try to pick, you know, which ones you want biggest. Show your personality. I've kind of talked about this a little bit, but kids, dogs, cats, sporting events, restaurants, community events, fundraisers, exercise. What are you doing, you know, that people would be interested in? Like, how can you connect to someone? I actually sent a message to a real estate agent yesterday who I've met a couple times, and, you know, she's very friendly, but, you know, we haven't, like, had a lunch or an actual meeting, but I went to her page and I read her story. It's a long story, too. Read the whole thing. And then I realized that she was into yoga, and I do yoga all the time. So I'm like, winner, winner. So I sent her a message, and I'm like, where do you do yoga? This is where I do it. You know, maybe we could. And she was super friendly back. She was like, I need to talk to you. Can I call you tonight? I'm like, yes, you can. So that's a different sort of interaction than, hey, can you meet me for lunch? That seems like I want something from you. You know, I'm just going to take kind of a thing. Whereas if I actually see, and I love yoga, like anyone who follows me knows this. So it's a genuine expression of who I am. Yoga and wine.
At the same time.
At the same time. I've actually done that. I do not recommend that. We used to do that at Primal. You can have a beer as you did your yoga. No. I was so tired. I was just laying there. Any of these or anything else you can think of that you're genuinely interested in that you want to highlight. Dogs. I'm going to be honest with you. The dog thing, if you have a dog, if you can dress up that dog, that's a big
No.
Do any of you follow Doug the Pug? You know what I'm talking about? Oh. He's an international superstar. He literally has 2 million followers. Like, yes. She dresses him up every day and poses him somewhere. She lives in Nashville and writes a 1-sentence caption. It's like, I think she's up to 2 million. Doug the Pug. He's like, how can you need to be following him? But whatever it is, dress up your dogs. People react even better to dogs than they do children.
Wow.
Just saying. And if you have any kind of, I have a real estate agent in South Charlotte who's really big into community events that raise money for schools and stuff. And so whenever she goes to a fundraiser, she takes a picture and she'll send me. And she's also volunteers with rescue dogs. Like, because life get any bigger. The whole rescue dog thing is huge. And so once a month I have photos of her with rescue dogs volunteering. Next, I'm going to go through these kind of quick. I'm running out of time. Post 1 to 2 times a day. We show a drop-off at 3. So I was just doing this research actually in the last 2 days. Used to be conventional wisdom that you could post every 3 to 4 hours and just keep it like start at 8 in the morning, go 8, 11, 2, 5, whatever. Now they're saying post less frequently, post better content. So 1 to 2 times a day, really great stuff. Document, don't create. That means the 900 things you have to do to close a house. Talk to your audience about that. Don't just show up at the closing table. So if you're doing, I don't know, an inspection or something unusual is going on and you're the expert in that situation or you're overseeing the expert, go ahead and take a photo of that and show what you're doing. Because a lot of times people have the perception that you're not doing a lot, right? They think, oh, real estate agents, they're going to make a huge commission, just show up at the closing table. No, that is not what's going to happen. I'm going to take 700 phone calls, and I'm going to be on the site, I'm going to be doing all this extra stuff, so you need to show them that. Show them what it is that you do. Make sure it's for your audience. Make sure it shows that you're competent and empathetic. This is a big one. A lot of people are good at showing competency, they're not good at showing empathy. That's what the dogs. Take pictures of your dog, that shows empathy. Take pictures of a fundraiser, that shows empathy. Simple, memorable, inviting, fun. Stay on simple, okay? Long posts, lots of text. No, less text. Keep it simple, keep the images simple. Don't use stock photography. Do you know what that is? Okay, they're photographs that you bought. Don't use those. Especially if they have people in them. Okay, you might be able to get by with a beautiful scene or something. The ones with people in them always look fake to me, 100% of the time. Nobody looks like that, right? Like this family, like running like in the yard with their dog behind them. I'm like, it doesn't exist. Like I have dogs. That's not what it looks like. And use the tags. That's what we were talking about. Go ahead and make sure that you tag where you are, the person you need to be grateful to, or however that is. That's a lot of information. I will go ahead and put this up on my Facebook page if you want to go in there. If you like, I don't want to write all that down. I'm going to put it all up there so you can look at it later. It's good to write it down because you learn a lot from the writing. Yeah. I used to be a teacher. If you write it, even if you throw it away on your way out the door, it gets a little stickier if you write. This was one. This was about showing our personality. And this one doesn't even have a picture. So George and I were at lunch, and he was talking about a borrower, and I said, well, you need to share that on Facebook. That's super interesting. So he shared it with me, which was not super interesting because it was like 900 sentences. And I'm like, let's just boil that down. Just 2 sentences. So got another application in from a borrower that a big bank turned away because the income from multiple properties was too difficult to consider. What? Hold my beer. I got this. So just like super simple. It reacts to a meme. I don't know if you guys see that meme all over the place where somebody says hold my beer because they're going to do something that either somebody else couldn't do, right? So
or shouldn't.
Or worse. They're going to do it a lot better or they're going to do it a lot worse. So hold my beer means I think I got this. Like I could do this well, And we got a lot of reactions from that, like right away. People thought that was funny. The other thing that it did was the thing I was telling earlier about the real estate agent who asked for her word, like what one word would you use to describe me. People came out of the woodwork. George, I miss you so much. Our time at the bank, you taught me so much. They were like raving about him in the comments. You're a miracle worker. One of them called him a magician, a mortgage magician. I'm like, how much did you pay her? Like, one after another. But they literally honestly, it's the best kind of endorsement, is that he said something small and funny, and they just came in and like, George, I miss when we worked together in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm like, goodness. So something small and clever. This one doesn't even have a photo. It would have been a little better with a photo, but we were at lunch and, you know, it was like a moment. I was just going to get it really quickly. And these two, I'm going to just jump through as fast as I can. Get active in groups, okay? Which I get active in the 100 No Rules group, so that when I post something, I'm hoping they'll know I'm posting something I think they'll like. Like, I don't post spam in there. I don't try to advertise to them. I genuinely put things in there I think they're going to like. And you might want to think about starting a group. Do any of you have groups that you moderate? You have groups you moderate. If you have something you're genuinely passionate about, you might think about starting a group. There's an agent, she's not here today, but she's going to start one with resources for people who have people in their family with autism. And she's very passionate about it and about creating a community here of resources for these people. And maybe as a side note, selling them a house sometime, but really that's the primary thing that she wants to put her community service behind. So we're all doing some kind of community service. This is how she's going to do it. I mean, groups are great because you can send messages to people. Like, you can't do that on your page unless you're friends with them. But in a group, you can message every single one of them. Okay? So you might think about that if you're super passionate about something. If you're not, it might not be a great fit for you. I've even done it where I've taken the 4 pictures I've wanted and created a little collage in an app.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get them, I wanted to brand it, I wanted to put my logo on top of it and control the exact size of an image and crop them and the whole thing. That's a lot of work though. Like if you're just in the moment, you want to put up 4 pictures.